Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. We are happy to have our co-host, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast, a remarkable figure in the podcasting world, hailing from the Republic of Kenya in East Africa. He has garnered 3 nominations for Best African Diasporan Podcast by the APVA. And in addition to this recognition, Sambaza was nominated for Best Blog by the Texas Creator Awards. Since 2023, he has been a featured presenter at the Afros Audio Podcast Festival, and he participated in the 2025 Podfest. His wealth of knowledge and unique perspectives are a great value. And welcome, Sambaza.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Another
Hey.
week, but it's Friday, but we're here.
Yes, I know
Glad
you
to
guys
have you.
made me thinking, like, what are you guys doing here on a Friday? But we wanted to do something special to set off and conclude this month of Black History and give you another great episode and a great guest. So
It's
here
the
we
end of the
are.
month too, right?
It is. It is.
So
And really, if you think about it, this kind of also marks our year of our collaboration. We started with a Black History Challenge, if you will, when we started working together,
yeah,
combining our podcast forces together. So we, want to do a little kickoff for you guys and um, acknowledge other amazing creators in the space and acknowledge Black history.
yeah, it's been
So
a great run. It's been a
yeah.
great run. Yep.
For sure.
Now we're starting off with the affirmation, right?
Yeah.
All right. Our affirmation of the day is says self belief. I believe in myself and my ability to achieve my goals. Let me repeat that again. Self belief. I believe in myself and my ability to achieve my goals. That sounds pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. We've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. We definitely want to continue positive mental health behaviors and share affirmations. So, yeah,
I think we need
absolutely.
it. Yeah, we need we
Hmm.
need we need those affirmations every morning. You know, when you wake up and start your day, you kind of want to get something to keep you motivated and to get a full day's worth of productivity. So I guess when you start off your day well with an affirmation, you tend to have a great day.
For sure, for sure. I agree with that. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I'm really still geeked about our last episode. So, today will be unlike any other, giving you guys a great episode and a great guest. Before we introduce our guests, thoughts about today's show or anything you definitely want to make sure people are aware for us concluding our Black History celebration.
Well, I think today was there was a campaign today for blackout of
Yes,
purchasing. Did you participate?
I
Unfortunately,
did. We did in this household. We did.
I found myself in the store. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I found myself in the store, but
Oh,
I did
Samantha.
notice. No, so let me say I was fact finding. I was fact finding. I
Okay.
did find that there were less people at the store, and this was at one of these
Ooh.
large scale stores. Those
Mm-hmm.
big ones that actually, if you want to know who they are, they're ones who are trying to, have a membership and want to tell people, not to get in. Yeah, you know them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So your
that one there was
observation, it was a
yeah,
little
there were few
less.
people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was some of us, but there was few people.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually participated in some clubhouse rooms of people discussing the matter. So that was kind of interesting if, and people were kind of going back and forth and kind of bickering about it too. So I felt like it was something significant to participate in. And really we can kind of continue it in a way and be more mindful of who we spend our money with. I think that was, kind of the significance of it too. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right, and our guest actually is very special too, and I think we need to get right along. I'm really psyched up to talk to her. Well, I already say to
absolutely.
her, and yeah, very I got good vibes, very good vibes. And yeah, we'll let you guys. Hey, just Jen, let's go.
We're ready? Okay, so at this
Yeah.
time, we will get ready to introduce our guest and then we'll get to comments and we'll do the whole thing. Okay, so our guest is a dynamic and inspiring individual whose journey has been nothing short of extraordinary, a clear advocate for personal development and emotional intelligence. She has built a remarkable career exemplifying resilience, adaptability, and leadership. With confidence and purpose, she navigates various spaces, embracing growth, making tough choices, and remaining true to her vision. In addition to all of this, she hosts her own podcast, Everyone Can't Go Convos, a podcast that empowers you to embrace a growth mindset and strong boundaries on your journey to self improvement. So, today we will explore some of her experiences, insight on personal growth and development, which is so important in our journey on this thing called life, and in honor of Black History, the significance of Black history in shaping her path. So, with that, we welcome Miss Jessi Holley.
Hi, you
Welcome,
guys.
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And fun fact is that you met Sambaza at Podfest. Is that right?
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
cool.
So when we met at Podfest, kinfolk and skinfolk, we all just gonna find each other. All you got to do is walk, and somebody will see you and be like, "Hey, you, mirror," and I'm like, "Oh, me? What up, though?" So he came in and found us, and he like, "Hey, were you guys y'all heard of Afros and Audio?" And I'm like, "I have. I missed it. I was out of town, but I'm like, I want to go." And from there, it was like, "Hey, look, we in here. We friends now."
I love that.
Yep.
That's so awesome. Okay.
All
Sambaza.
right. So to start us off, I usually go and research about proverb from Africa, and this week's proverb is from Cape Verde. Uh, Cape Verde is a small island somewhere in near Guinea-Bissau. These are new countries you're hearing. There used to be one country, but then they split up. So we're going to talk a
Mm.
little bit about the fun facts about this place called Cape Verde. Um, it is rude to eat in public without sharing your food. It is estimated that there is one goat for every two people on the island, and there are more diasporans living abroad than in the country. So they have more people who are living out of the country than in the country. People in Cape Verde are either African or Portuguese. The reason being is that the Portuguese were the first people to live on that island in 1456, and then they brought African slaves to the country. So currently, the official language in Cape Verde is Portuguese, and then they have another Portuguese-based Creole language called Crioulo. Yeah, and one extra fact was like I found out I had to do my research as well. They're pretty big on they don't marry each other. They have baby mamas. They just live by baby mamas. Something about them and baby mamas. Some uh,
Okay.
if you go online and research, that's what you'll find. It's me with my
Okay.
research. Now, here's a proverb. Let's go into the serious part. The proverb: Rats don't dance in the cat's doorway. You want me to read it again? Let me say it again. Rats don't dance in the cat's doorway. So, what do you think about that proverb, or what can you extrapolate from that?
Let me see.
Hmm.
Just because it says rats, I'm thinking to myself mice just because it sounds nicer for them to be outside. But when you say rats don't dance in the cat's doorway, I mean, whether it's rats or mice, if they inside the house or they trying to get in there, of course they gonna sneak. They ain't gonna walk straight past the cat. They gonna sneak in.
Okay. Looks like we have
All
some
right,
insight in the comments too.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
now, Your journey has been marked by resilience and adaptability. Can you share a bit about your background and what led you to where you are today?
Yeah, sure, sure. Let me think of how to sum this up in as concise of a story as possible. Let me take you on a journey. So, where I am now, wow, it's definitely been like anyone else's journey, full of ups and downs, lessons. I used to be one of those people that I'm like, oh, everybody eats. I can love on everybody, everybody is a part of the group, everybody can go. Let's do this together. I was very much I was very much on that Ubuntu all the time. I'm like, because I am, we are. And I really thought that. I really did. I was always worried about like community, the people that were around me, my social circle, my family circle. I was worried about those closest to me. But over time, as I actually began to dig into what I wanted to do with my life and building what my dream life looked like for me, outside of what everyone else said it should look like or what it should be like, I started to find that the relationships that I started with, I didn't end with those same relationships or friendships. I didn't end with the same type of bonds with people that I thought, people were going to be around for a lifetime. But it just turned out they were there for a prolonged season.
Mhm.
I had to learn more and more about setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries is a buzzword right now. Everybody always talking about boundaries. And 75% of the time they doing it wrong. I'm like, did you even read the book? Like, no, you saw somebody talking about it on Instagram in the most toxic way as possible, and you just said, this is for my boundaries. And it's like, ma'am, you are still a mess. Seek therapy and coaching. Two different things, okay? Both of those things were a part of my journey.
Mhm.
Clinical therapy, breaking the stigma on that, as well as coaching. There are two different types of learning and development. And so I had to do a lot of unlearning, a lot of healing, a lot of releasing, letting go. And ultimately you get what you see in front of you now. And it wasn't necessarily easy, but taking the punches as they come, taking the blessings as they come, seeing where I'm able to be a blessing to others along the way, but also learning to be wise in being a blessing to other people, and not just freely giving, giving, giving until my saucer is empty, my cup is empty, and I'm still like, oh, let me do something else for you. Sometimes we got to put self first. And that was something that I had to learn so that I could give from overflow to those people who, I don't want to say deserve it, but like, let's just skip the fluff. To the people that deserve it, to the people that
Mm.
are mutually beneficial to me, not to the people that they just got their hand out, and people who, they're takers.
That's so true. I mean, really, it feels like we feel guilt or shame in not being like, okay, I'm here for everybody.
Hmm.
And really, what is wrong with putting yourself first, putting your family first, putting the ones that matter first?
As you should, as you
Hmm.
should. And a lot of times, that guilt, that
Hmm.
guilty feeling, that survivor's remorse feeling, and also that grief when you have to let people go, those were all very strong emotions that I had to learn to deal with and regulate in a healthy way. Because we are always taught, and I'm not gonna do the thing where it's like, oh, especially black women, but I'm gonna do it, especially black women. We are taught to give, 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 like beyond what we actually have to give. And one
Mm.
thing that I say about like us and the like black people diaspora in general, our normal quote unquote level of stress, say that stress is on a scale of 1 to 10, say the national average is like a 3 for the level of daily stress that people work under, live under, that they tolerate. Please believe if the national average is about a 3, the black average is 7. And that's if you're doing good. I like, and no, these are not like real stats. This was not a real study, but like, look, if you look to your left, your right, if it's somebody to look like this side and not this side, 9 times out of 10, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm putting it on a scale. And you add on to that in addition to, we are supposed to keep community together, deal with one another, we are supposed to be a safe space. We're also expected to be like emotional therapists for one another. We're expected to counsel one another. We're expected to always be available for each other to vent and not say anything when you really don't have the capacity to be that or be there for someone else. And because we've been conditioned to constantly give of ourselves and give more than what we actually have to give, we we feel guilty. We really do feel guilty
Mhm.
telling people no. We feel guilty setting boundaries to protect ourselves, protect our peace, sometimes to protect our health. And I mean, sometimes the people around us, they don't help us with not feeling guilty. They'll just make you feel more guilty on top of you feeling guilty about
Right.
feeling guilty. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a journey to go on to learn how to navigate and work through that feeling of guilt. It's not just ignore it. It's not just forget about it. It's feeling that feeling, honoring that feeling, and working your way through it, because that is a very real part of learning to put yourself first so that you're able to give from a place of abundance, not giving from a place of lack, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
showing up, you sort of, half tailing it when you're giving from the scraps that you have left over, instead of making
Mm-hmm.
sure that you're building yourself to over 100% so that you're able to freely keep giving to others, but also stopping and taking that time to recharge yourself so that you can make sure that you are staying at that over 100%, so you're able to show up happy, healthy, and in the proper space to be, giving to people the way that we actually like to. And a lot of times we don't do the work that we need to do, the self assessment and that inner work, so that we're able to give from that place of abundance. We're just so determined to give and not
Mhm.
feel that guilty feeling, not grieve the loss of relationships that we should not be in because they aren't serving us. We
Mm-hmm.
probably aren't serving them in the long term.
Right.
We giving them a fish, we're not teaching them to fish.
Oh wow.
Right.
That's a word.
So, do we jump in the
Definitely.
comments?
Sure, let's go there.
Uh, Ed Campbell says peace and Black history is every day. Don't allow them to reduce it to 28 days. Yep.
Come on,
Okay.
Um,
Ed.
Denise says,
Ash
"Hey,
Ashay.
what's that mean? Okay, I'm missing
You
something.
know
Uh,
Ashay.
that's Ashe. Okay.
Yeah.
Ed Campbell says we must be present. We must be present and intentional with and in our affirmations. Feel it, receive, and believe it. Because after I am, I am. Okay,
Mm.
Ooh,
Denise for the
okay.
healing session, heal, power, empower, and release says, "Hey family." Ed says, "Shout out to both of the hosts rocking dope hats." Okay, yep. We're in the Mardi Gras season right now. Let's go to. Oh yeah, she says as you're talking, she says, "Don't tempt the enemy."
That was
Um.
about your proverb. That
Oh
was about,
yeah, the proverb.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
see?
Yeah,
And
that's
see,
how.
I was kind of thinking different, so I'm glad she put that out there.
Yeah, that's good.
Appreciate.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
everyone has their own interpretation of the proverb.
Right.
And I think when you're talking about to give, Denise also says that right down there says, and we have openings. This is when you were.
About therapy and that type
Yes,
of thing. Yeah. Cuz
yes.
she is a therapist. Shout out to the therapist in the house.
There we go. Ed Campbell says,
Ah,
"Wake it up, my sister is teaching," and he
Don't
gives out the
okay.
diamonds, the hundreds, and the fire. Denise says, "Amazing. Please put you first."
For
And then
sure.
we have Hank Woodmore. Welcome to the show, and it says, "Hey, fiance."
Hi.
Okay.
All right, all right.
Thank you guys for
So
tuning in.
thank you. Now my next question. You look very confident all the time, even as you speak right now, and even as you spoke at when I met you at the Podfest. How do you maintain confidence and purpose in spaces? where you may not be always feeling welcomed.
It's funny that you asked that. I just had this conversation earlier this morning. Someone asked me the very same thing, and honestly, it's like, look, if you her, you her. It's just that simple. And I mean, that's another one of them things. Everybody want to claim to be him. Everybody want to claim to be her. But like, no, let's actually look at the evidence. Like, let's look at my accomplishments. Let's look at my grind. Let's look at how I work. Let's look at my tangible results, not just me talking about what I'm about to do. Let's actually
Mhm.
look at the life that I'm living that's reflective of all of these things that I'm talking about. And so and it's not like I don't have those times where I feel self-conscious or that I'm just like, oh yeah, I wake up every day like Beyonce, stage ready. No, I don't. I do not. I have to hype myself up. Sometimes I do have to be like self be like, I'm like, girl, I'm nervous about walking in here. For what? And sometimes self, she gotta remind me who the F we are. And the
Yeah.
same pep talk that I have to give to some of my homegirls, some of my homeboys, some the like anybody that is around, like I stay around dope people.
Mhm.
And we all come to that moment where sometimes it's not that you lacking confidence, you just forgot who the F you were. And I go ahead and say the whole word out. I be like, look, like when it's time for me to start hyping somebody up, I'm like, wait a minute, no, you gonna remember because you that. And the same way that I do that for other people around me, sometimes me and self, we gotta have that same conversation so that I am able to all of that fear stuff. And I
Mhm.
I just said it to you, Jen. It sounds like do it scared. One of my mentors said that to me
Yeah.
quite a while ago, and I was like, you know what? Okay, and I took that to heart. And so
Mhm.
I again honor that feel. I'm okay. Yeah, I am scared. I'm about to do it anyway, though. Because I can either be scared and feel that pain of being scared, being fearful, being afraid, and just sit there being scared and don't get nothing done. Or I can still be scared, but go ahead and do it. And what if everything turns out perfectly? What if I
Mm.
go
Right.
ahead and even though, nah, it seemed like, well, what if they don't want me to talk? Let me just make myself small and don't say nothing. I can't afford to not say nothing because if I keep my mouth closed and I cost three, four, five other people in that room their breakthrough, that piece of
Mhm.
information that they needed, they might be right at the tip of that. They just about to turn a knob and bust open the door to they next level, but they missed that opportunity because I'm being quiet.
Mm.
That's not my purpose to do that.
Mhm.
It's not my purpose to just walk into somewhere and take up space, to cower
Mhm.
down and be quiet because because we don't even know who they is. And if you ever listen to my pod, you can get tired of me saying who is they. We don't even know who they is. So whatever they that
Mm.
don't want me to speak, that don't want my voice out there, that don't want me in the room, that they want me to
Mhm.
shut up, I guarantee you, if that feeling is in that room that strong, it's because somebody is right there on the edge of something that they do need me to go ahead and talk. They need me to
Mm.
be like, bump that negative energy. Somebody, it may just be one person, but that one person could be the one person that's going to change the world.
Love that. Love that.
Great.
And you have a post recently talking about self care. I guess it's from your last most recent
Mhm.
episode. And it really resonated with me. So I want you to share how people can, adopt some of these things that is self care and protect their peace. It may not be what you think, like the person you were talking with, getting your nails done. Self care can be other things. So I want you to kind
Mhm.
of speak to that.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yes, that was a clip from my latest episode. And shout out to Aisha Moore, Self-Care with Aisha. When I talk about that I need coaches, she is my self-care coach. Stay on my head about making sure that I stay on my own head about getting my self-care in. And so what I learned is that self-care isn't, because I was one of those people that I'm like, oh my God, self-care Saturday, self-care Sunday. Oh, it's about to be facials, it's about to be massages, it's about to be nails, it's about to be toes, it's about to be shopping, it's about to be, I gotta roll through and get my bestie. We're gonna have a bestie day, do all these expensive things, go to the steakhouse, we about to cash out, we ordering bottles of wine. But it's like, oh, all of these things. But what I learned was, you notice that whole long list of all that can be expensive, or you think a ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. By the time you get to the end of that day or that weekend, you done spent a couple $1,000s
Mm,
with self-care. Now, while that can be self care, what I had to learn was self care is also when I decide to set out that body scrub that I got, I don't know, while traveling and wherever. I want to use my coconut sugar scrub from Aruba, put my fuzzy pink blanket in the dryer. And I've already chosen a Netflix rom com movie that I'm going to just wrap myself up, and I'm going to spend a quiet evening just letting myself relax, put my
mhm,
shoulders down, do some deep breathing. And I'm going to bundle up in my blanket, make some hot cocoa, and I'm about to just chill and be quiet.
mhm,
That self-care is sometimes, shoot, self-care first thing in the morning, every morning. What I ain't gonna do is listen to some foolishness within the first 25 minutes of my day, because I'm controlling the spirit of my day. So, self-care, taking it right back to those affirmations that you guys talked about at the top of the
mhm,
episode,
mhm.
controlling the spirit of my day. If I wake up and I do stub my toe, I can't imagine a better day. And I'm gonna keep saying that until the day does get better. It's me making sure that, if you know me, I'm gonna be like, oh, you mad? Okay, 5 minute funk. We only doing it for 5 minutes. And that's if that. You need me to set the
Mm.
timer for you? Sometimes I gotta set the timer for myself. I'll be like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself this 5 minutes to be mad as all get out. But after that, cut it. We're done. And we're
Okay.
moving on, and we are going to recontrol and repurpose the spirit of the day. Sometimes that self-care is, go ahead and put that phone on D&D. Stop answering everybody else. Stop being available for everybody else. Be available for you. Sit on the
Absolutely.
Um,
floor. Do your deep breathing.
oh,
Yeah.
and with the self care, are there any non negotiable habits that you would put in that would keep you grounded, so to speak?
Hmm.
I don't know if
I
grounded is the right word, but uh,
grounded in its center. I would say make sure that you put in that time for yourself, where you
Mhm,
literally, like, some people call it do nothing. Call it whatever you want, but literally don't do nothing. Breathe.
mhm,
Don't listen to nothing. Don't have no outside stimulus. Get your body in a comfortable and relaxing position, and literally just breathe all the way down to your diaphragm. Sometimes I tell people, breathe down to your drawers so you can make sure that you breathing down deep enough. And even if it's just for 10 breaths, like, literally breathe all the way into your diaphragm. If you want to kick it up a little bit of a notch, pull up some binaural beats on YouTube for
mhm.
whatever emotion it is that you need to be feeling. Pop in your ear pods so you can get it right up in your ears and don't have to listen to nothing else. That's one of my favorite things to
Mm.
do, is do that deep breathing and listen to binaural beats. I know it sounds like,
Binaural
oh, that
beats.
holistic, that stuff, da da da, all the things they say, whoever they are. But like, no, like, seriously, like, try it for like 5 or 10
Okay.
minutes. It really helps to bring you to center, and that's part of, clearing your head and recharging the body, so that all this giving that we doing out here in these streets, that you
mhm,
are recharging and replenishing yourself.
mhm. Okay.
Okay, I just looked up that binaural beats. I need to save that. 'Cause-
Yeah, yep, yep,
And they
me
have
too.
there's a frequency for everything. Like, it's one of those things where the first time that you try it, if you're and shoot, call me, we can do us a little video call binaural beat thing together.
oh,
Excuse me,
yeah.
but it sounds silly until you actually try it, and you
Mhm,
are like feeling like what your body is feeling while you're listening to the different frequencies, and it's like, oh,
mhm.
This is relaxing. Yes, I do feel the
Mm,
anxiety leaving my body. I do feel the stress leaving my body. I do feel calmer.
yeah. Okay. And then,
All right. Now, we're in Black History Month. In what ways do you believe Black history shapes the present and future, especially in the environments that we're in and the environments that probably you engage with?
Okay. So I feel like Black history has shaped, I have a little bit of a different view.
Mhm.
And I'm just recently learning that everyone didn't grow up with Black history as a requirement from K through 12. So in my elementary and middle school, literally from January when we got back from holiday break up until March, everything was shut down. We were getting prepared for, there was a big like think March Madness, but for Black History Month, Black History Facts. So
mm,
for literally 2 entire months, there was 1 month of preparation and learning. There was a full Black History Month, I mean Black History class, that it was totally separate from history. You got history class and you got Black history, and that was
mm,
a
mhm,
requirement
mhm.
as a part of our curriculum. And then for the
Nice.
month of February, we were literally competing on teams. Every single grade at the school, we were competing with these Black history facts. So for me, I always felt and was educated and raised with a very specific, like, yes, Black history is something that is separate, but it's rich. It is like there isn't really anything that I can look at in and around this room that it's like, oh, well, that was invented by a white person. And it's like, oh, actually, the filament in that light. Oh, well, actually,
Mm,
that peanut butter that you're eating. Actually, well, you know that before Thomas Edison did this, a black man did this. And I just recently was coming to learn that all of these like little facts and stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, that was Lewis Latimer, or that was made by such and such and such. Like, yeah, who doesn't know about Henrietta Lacks? And a lot of people are like,
mhm,
no, we're just learning this on social media. And I'm like, what was happening at school? So that started to give me a
mhm,
better understanding of the way that I look at things. I can't look at things in the world without seeing the great Black writers, inventors, the civil rights activists, the people that came before us. And so I do feel like I have a certain responsibility
mhm,
as a, I mean, I'm brown. Like I'm black, but I'm like a browner skinned Black person. Sometimes when you're up lighter, if you're in a group of non-black people, you can blend in from afar. Like somebody will kind of
mhm.
have to scan the room. Like, no, if I'm there, I'm the one dot on the picture that's like, there she go. So I've always felt like when I'm in spaces that are outside of the safety of just us, that
Mhm,
there is a certain responsibility that I carry to use my voice and speak up and say something when it's like, oh yeah, no, that was a microaggression. Don't do that. No, that's not okay. Don't
mhm,
touch my hair. What are you doing? Don't touch my weave, my wig. If you scroll back far enough, like, yes, I used to stand a bust down. Don't ask me nothing stupid about why was my hair curly on Friday and I came in Monday with a bust down on. Like, okay. And I almost said a couple of names because please believe in certain spaces, especially when you are talking about being in corporate spaces,
mm,
um we're expected to show up a certain type of way. I mean,
yeah.
there have been times where in a corporate setting they're like, well, you can't talk to such and such like that, and I literally asked in the boardroom, what are you gonna do, make my mouth bleed? You talking about, yeah, the DJ did scratch the disc because they like, I'm sorry, what did you say? No, you heard me. Like, there is
Mhm,
a
mhm,
certain, I do expect and will demand to be treated just as everyone else is. And I feel that even with the generation before us, our parents and grandparents, I was a late kid of my mom. So there were just things her and her peers that, they went through in the 70s and 80s, being in these corporate spaces where, well, we aren't allowed to, or you can't. And it's like, what? It was the 80s. What you mean you couldn't do that, 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 that? But we don't really frame it that the civil rights movement was happening in the late 60s.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's you literally talking about just 2 decades between Jim Crow and them being able to sit and take places in corporate spaces. Those
Yes.
same people that were out there with the dogs, that was throwing stuff at them, spitting on them, doing all this wild stuff, they were still in the workforce, like our parents and grandparents were.
I
Mhm.
think
Ruthie
they're
Bridge is
grandfathers
ecstatic.
now.
Hmm.
They should be grandfathers now,
Yeah,
if
they
not
are, but
great
they still
grandfathers if
alive.
they've lived long. So yeah, you don't
Yeah.
know what they'd be thinking and passing on along.
Hmm. And so I feel like because of all of the things that were done before us, great and sacrifices, I do have a responsibility to show up in a certain way and to help my community and my peers where I can, and also try to guide people into a place where it's the best fit for them, in the place
Mhm.
where they can be the most successful. Because, like, let's be serious, everybody has a purpose, and there's a certain place and space for each person to carry out their purpose. Everybody can't, be a leader. Everybody can't be the president. It's only one spot.
Look,
Sure.
you just about to say what you're about to say, and I was waiting for it. Everybody can't go.
Look,
Everybody can
everybody can't
go.
go.
Say it, say it.
Everybody can't
Everybody
go.
can go.
What a
You know.
perfect time to talk about the show and the workshop. Tell us
Oh, by the way,
more.
wait. Let's before we hit that. Before we hit that about the show, I want to go through the comments and then
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, let's not forget them. They were actually moving fast here. Denise says here, correct. They will use you up. I
Mhm.
think I lost track of what. It was all about self care. And then Ed Campbell says, I only go where I'm celebrated and stay the hell away from spaces and places that
Yes.
will give me spiritual COVID.
Ooh.
Yes. Go where you
Okay.
celebrated and not just tolerated.
Mhm.
So Hank says, surface level self care lacking substance. Okay.
Okay.
That's real.
Um, Ed Campbell says, do you think getting pedicures and manicures, facials, haircuts, and shopping is self care or maintenance? Maybe even a distraction from doing the deeper work. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
What
Come
would you
on,
say about that?
Ed.
Yeah, she
Now,
spoke to that.
that's real. Ed hit it on the hit the nail on the head with that one.
Uh,
And Hank too, when he was talking about that being the superficial.
mhm.
There are so many times where, because like hashtag self-care Saturday is a thing, we don't take that time to do the deep inner work. That
Mhm.
in is like that is a part of self-care. All of those things that I was talking about, don't do nothing. Lay on the
Mhm.
floor.
Yes.
Do your
Yeah.
binaural beats. Get your hair right. Realize when everybody can't go, letting those people go, releasing them,
Mhm.
allowing yourself to feel the guilt of letting them go, to grieve the loss of the friendship, to release those negative feelings, work your way through them instead of just stuffing them down and getting a new pair of lashes on top of them, or get some new glasses or something. And so, yes, Ed is absolutely right. Sometimes, all of those things, they can be maintenance, because I mean, I don't want
Mhm.
to go outside without my nails done. I mean, that's just me. But there are those of us that, all of those self-care things, those are routine maintenance. And there are people who also use that routine maintenance. They'll put an extra little razzle dazzle on it, because we always
Mhm.
say, well, I don't look like my circumstance. How did that roll off the tongue so easy for me? Because that's something that I used to say. Even when I was going through it, I would make sure that
Mm.
I didn't look toe up on the outside the way I felt on the inside. When you're talking about that true
Mhm.
self-care, yes, you do need to make sure that all that pretty shiny outsides you got, you flashing that smile, all of your pearly whites, brows on fleek, edges laid, hair done, haircut, nice hats on, all types of stuff, you fresh to death. But is the inside of you just carrying the death part? Ain't nothing
Mhm.
fresh in there. Like
There you
Right.
go.
that's real. Like, you
Mhm.
can do all the external stuff as much as you want, but if that internal is a mess, You can be real pretty in a casket, real handsome in a casket, because you didn't take care
Mm,
of in here and in here. Eventually that will affect your body physically if you keep holding all
absolutely.
that foolishness in.
That's very true. Okay. Okay.
Definitely.
So Ed Campbell says, I like that 5 minute limit to act up. LMAO.
You called it 5 minutes of funk, right? I love
Yeah, it's a
Right,
5 minute
right.
funk. I like how
And
Ed then
Yeah.
took it a step further. He said 5 minutes to act up. So yeah, go ahead and wild out on somebody for 5 minutes if they deserve it. But set the timer so you can stop and don't go to
for
jail.
real, for real. So Denise says down here, facts. D&D. Me. All right. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hank says shout out to Gersh. As I hope
Oh
I said that
yeah,
right. And then Ed
yeah.
says gives out the fire emojis, the heart, the 100s, and the gems. Yep, you be dropping some gems. All right, Jen.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go over to whatever's coming up. You have something special coming up. Go ahead, Jen. You're saying something.
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to share about your project that you're working on and about your podcast. So we would love to hear about that.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, of course, I'm gonna tell you about the free stuff first. So, for the free stuff first, you can definitely check out my podcast. Everybody Can't Go Convos. Every week we check in with either a guest or sometimes you get just little old me giving you a lesson, and we talk through some of the intricacies of why everybody can't go. And talking about all of the small ways that you're able to actionably implement this in real life. So as soon as you're
Mhm.
done with a pie episode, you can go and start like halfway through the episode. You're gonna have a note or two that you can immediately apply so that you can start to work on your growth journey, becoming that person, the best version of yourself, and how to communicate in a more healthy way, set those healthy boundaries. And ultimately learning yourself at a deeper level, self-assessment, all types of things we talk about on the show. And with the interviews,
Yes.
you will also experience other people's Everybody Can't Go story. My story you can read in my book Everybody Can't Go, but when I have people on the pod, they share their story with the hope that, my story itself, it can help a certain number of you, but sometimes you do need to hear from other people whose Everybody Can't Go story, it may not be as drama filled and dramatic as mine. It may
Mhm.
not have to do with all of the extra things that should not have happened. Sometimes it is just a gentle growing apart or just physical distance. There's a myriad of ways that you can experience Everybody Can't Go in your life, but I guarantee you have. And if you haven't, lucky you, but it's coming. So come on over to the pod so that you can get prepared for it. So that the things that took me 5 to 10 years to learn, we can go ahead and get you hooked up in 5 minutes, or maybe 5 days, so that you have the
Nice.
tools that you need. Yeah,
Okay. And the name of your book is
everybody can't go. So
okay.
I have a book, Everybody Can Go. Pre-sales are available now. And I also have the Write the Vision Journal. So that is a manifesting and prompt journal that takes you through actually writing out your vision so that you have something to refer back to when you are setting your goals to be sure they're in alignment. And that is a logical indicator of when you can go ahead and release somebody from quote unquote going with you, because they aren't in alignment with the vision that you have for your life and fulfilling your purpose.
Okay. And your
I missed,
conference.
I missed,
Yes,
I
we
missed your
have a
book.
workshop coming up. Where's my calendar? I keep forgetting the dates because so much is going on. Okay, so Tuesday, March 25th through Thursday, March 27th, we will be together for 2 hours each evening starting at 7 p.m. EST, where I am walking you guys through some of the concepts from the Write the Vision journal. So you will receive a journal with your ticket to the workshop. And during that workshop, we are taking you through very strategic steps in goal setting so that you will have a personalized plan that you are able to execute on for the next 90 days. Some people even get up to the next 3 quarters they're able to work through during the 3-day workshop. So we're going to be getting you that personalized plan. If there is anything that you saw in the journal that you want to ask me directly so that I can help you work through it, we take the time to do that. And we just dive a bit deeper into how to use that journal to the best of your needs. And if you want to go even deeper than what is available in the journal, it's like getting a little bit of a one-on-one or group coaching with me, but
Mhm.
with some additional teaching there without that larger ticket. So yeah.
Nice.
I got a
Okay,
question.
yeah.
Did I miss out about the? I think I missed out on the book part. Everybody can go.
Hmm.
How much is it?
The book is $35.
Okay.
Can we get it?
You guys can find that on my site at www.everybodycg.com. There are links there available for purchase.
All right, and Jen, we'll put those links on our show notes so that
Yes.
guys can get the that. Now, I have a question about journals.
Hmm.
Who's been writing journals here? Because I'm from Africa. We don't write journals, or yeah, that's something we came to learn over here. Both of so I guess both of y'all have y'all been writing journals?
I started writing very early on.
Uh-huh.
In school, we had to do a lot of writing.
Uh-huh.
So I started to write strategically in a journaling format. Past the Dear Diary. This is what happened today. I
Uh-huh.
actually started like journaling with a purpose. Let's see, it's been about 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 years that I've been journaling with the purpose of actually fleshing out my vision on paper, learning what it means to write the vision, not type it, not just think about it, actually write it. And also journaling my goals and strategizing on paper in a journal instead of
Okay.
just pouring out my feelings. It's like, okay, we got the feelings out, but what are we going to do with those things?
Oh, okay. And Jen?
Yes, I actually grew up keeping a journal and, definitely like ideas for, business notes. It's not as structured, but I definitely keep a couple journals on
Question.
deck.
Do you ever go back to look at them?
Yeah,
And okay,
definitely.
so now I think let's tie this into self care. How does it help with you with your self care if you go looking back at your journals?
So there's a couple things with what Jen said. I do have multiple journals, and
Mhm.
some of them I do keep my notes in.
Mhm.
So self-care wise, one of the things that my self-care coach stays on me about is my post-its. There are some currently present here. All of these post-its that are everywhere, it helps me to organize some of my thoughts
Hmm.
and keep them there in the journal. And then as far as looking back at journals when I get to the end of a 90-day period, or sometimes if I get to the next year, what was I doing a year ago? That really helps to get over that feeling of I'm not doing enough, or I haven't progressed as far as I thought I would. I'm a failure. I'm not doing I'm not getting anywhere. Go back in that journal and see what were you doing 6 months ago? What were you doing a year ago? And a lot of times you will find that no, you are actually quite a bit further than what you were 365 days ago, than what you were 180 days ago. And sometimes you just need that reminder.
Yeah, and there's even app versions of it too, just like there's app affirmation, tools, but there's like a digital, even a notepad. I know some people take like voice notes of themselves just speaking, and you could capture your thoughts that way too if you wanted to.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
I've done a good job with Facebook. Facebook will
You mean
probably have my journal.
making posts? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I think I'm
thought.
making a
Going
post
back.
will probably be like a journal for my time.
Correct.
But anyway, the reason why I asked you guys about that is because okay, I don't write journals. I never wrote a journal. But today I was watching a YouTube channel, a video for this guy called Dialogues with Jaguero, and there were two ladies, Roberta, Bobby Roberta. and co-host today was Kate. They were talking about writing journals, and they were talking about writing journals from when they were in high school, which was like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, okay. They kept up with that style of writing, which we never did. In my time, we were not encouraged to write journals at all. It wasn't one of the things. So I think Facebook probably did me got me into writing my journal. So I think if I want to see some, if I want to look back at myself, I'd probably go back to Facebook and check what was I doing 10 years ago in
Mm-hmm.
2008 when it started, right? 2007, 2008. Yeah.
Well, really, I said audio clips. You could really do video clips. You know what I mean? Some
Hmm.
people just
Yeah.
capture video and don't post it, and they refer back to it. So, being a audio professional and content creator, that's something that you may want to consider.
Hmm.
Yeah, we do this.
And
We
you
do
can
this
even
all the time.
make it a whole Instagram page and just set it to private.
Oh my
And
god! Yeah.
you have a whole row of all of those vlog entries to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and just make the page and make it unshareable. Nobody else can see it but you, but you always have access to it easily.
Amen.
That's a great
Amen.
idea. Definitely.
All right. Now, any word of encouragement that you have? This is going to be your moment. I know you talked about your conference. You talked about the book, everything else, your website, your podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, for me personally, I liked when you were introducing yourself at the Podfest and you said everyone everybody can't go. I think that resonated a lot and it's
Mm-hmm.
still going to stick with me. I think that's what I'm going to be using. And there's another one that says, "What's the best thing that can happen?" Those two phrases are the ones I'm using for myself for the rest of the year. Now, back to you. Go ahead, say your spiel. What you can give us some good word as we wind up.
Okay, so for parting words, I will say my final reminder: everybody can't go. It's less space at your next level. There's a reason why you get up to a mountaintop. It's not lonely at the top. Just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. Use that time of isolation once you release those relationships that are no longer serving you and you are no longer serving them. Spend that time in isolation, that time of being alone,
Mm-hmm.
to heal, that time to learn, so that you are put in a proper position and you have the right energy, you have the right vibe, so that when the right people do get near you and are in your midst, that you are ready for the new people that you are supposed to go with, for the people that
Mm-hmm.
are supposed to finish the race with you, that are supposed to build with you, help to build you up, make space for you to build them up. But always remember, when you are in that tough spot, everybody can't go. And the more comfortable you get with it, the further, faster you will be able to get with the right people around you.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
I love that. All right. And last but not least, I think we'll say good evening to About the Wallet. He just joined us, and Hank had some
Hey,
fire emojis
he
going
did.
up. Yep. Hey, I guess hey you said it. You said it. With that, I want to thank you so much for coming to the show. I think I
Yes.
enjoyed it so much. With what you
Thank you
said,
guys.
like I said, resonate everything. Now, before you go, Jen is the one to send us home. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay. And we thank Ms. Jessie for the conversation. This has definitely been incredible and impactful. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, journey, insights on Black history, all the things. And please stick around for our proper goodbye to our listeners. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it out. And I was someone who needs to hear it. Remember, growth is a personal journey, and sometimes not everyone can come along. So I'll keep growing, protecting your vision, and we thank you for being a part of the Woke by Accidents Sambaza collaboration. And until next time, everybody, take care.